Tonight, the Target 12 investigators uncover police across New England are making fewer arrests. We obtained a decade of data from departments in several major cities, including Providence, Fall River, and New Bedford.
We learned crime rates are lower, too, although violent crimes have been up and down over the years. So why are police cuffing 40% fewer suspects than they were a decade ago?
Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau with the details you'll see only on Eyewitness News.
The Providence police chief did say the drop in arrests would be a concern if the crime rate was not down too. Among the reasons for fewer arrests, the types of crimes that provoke a ride in a squad car have changed, starting with nightclub disturbances.
Detectives, I need a rescue to this level 2 for a stab under the chest.
On Easter Sunday morning in 2012, some 60 people were tangled in a melee inside the club level 2. Several were stabbed, and police arrested a half-dozen suspects. This was the first of 2 Providence club brawls that month.
We would lock up 10 or 20 people on a Friday and Saturday night.
Providence Police Chief Colonel Hugh Clements tells Target 12 the department changed its strategy around that time by turning to the Board of Licenses.
This was a very serious melee.
The board voted to close down level 2 about 2 months after the brawl, and Clements says the threat of being forced out of business prompted owners to police themselves in the years to come.
So we've cleaned up our act quite a bit with some of those nightclub large disturbances and large number of arrests.
The arrest declines across the region are staggering. In Providence, the number is down 43% since 2007. Boston down 52%. Fall River down 30%. Hartford down 50%. We're told the drop is not all about controlling club crowds. Clements says in many cities there's a social service aspect as well. Police are teamed up with agencies that try to get potential callers in certain mental health related crimes help instead of jail time. We also wanted to know about the impact of staffing. Last month's graduating class of recruits added 55 officers, but the department is still about 10% short of its budgeted force of 494.
I think that absolutely plays into it, but to a much greater degree, it's the whole mission and philosophy and theory of policing with strategy behind it.
One felony assault with a firearm.
He links these weekly meetings to that strategy.
Administered 2 doses of Narcan the other day and saved that individual on Covell, so good job all the way around.
What he calls a data-driven approach involves command staff sharing stats and complaints to target everything from drug dealing to larceny.
There is an uptick again, like you said, on velocities.
According to Clements, with some types of arrests declining, resources are used more precisely.
A break in progress.
One example is on display in this surveillance video. After noticing a spike in East Side break-ins, police watched, waited,
I got 2 subjects! 2 subjects in here!
And moved in on burglary suspects, cutting the number of that crime in half from 2015 to 2016.
Although the quantity of arrests have gone down, I think the quality of arrests have gone up.
But again, not all crimes are down. Some violent crimes are actually up by about 5% since 2007 and have been up and down over the years. Also, all of the stats from the 10 cities we checked on, from Stamford to Providence to Boston, are on WPRI.com for you to view. With the Target 12 investigators, Walt Buteau, Eyewitness News.
New details now in a Target 12 investigation. At 5, we uncovered that police across New England are making fewer arrests. In Providence alone, arrests are down 40% in the past 10 years.
So we wanted to know if it had something to do with the number of officers. Now, this July, a graduating class of recruits put 55 more on the street, but the Providence police force is still about 40 officers short of its mandated total.
We went to the department's top training officer, who's also the head of the union, to ask if personnel has had an impact on arrest numbers. Target 12 investigator Walt Buteau has the details.
We're told more officers will lead to more arrests, at least in the first few months on the job, but personnel is not the only reason arrests are down so sharply, according to the experts. With violent crimes up and down over the past 10 years.
A break in progress.
But most other crime rates, including burglaries, shrinking.
But again,
Union President and Police Academy Training Officer Sergeant Robert Boehm agrees with Chief Hugh Clements that the quality of arrests is up, even though the quantity is down. One example he gives us, instead of several arrests involving drug users, police are now focusing on the bigger link in the drug chain.
We're more or less going after the person who's actually dealing the drugs and causing the problem, as opposed to the person who has the problem.
Bohm believes another impact could be some of the worst offenders have been taken off the streets, and he thinks community organizations could be part of the change, helping to keep would-be petty criminals off the stat sheet.
With the judges, the priests, the counselors, the schools, we're all working together, and I think that, that's part of the reason, if not most of it.
One local officer contacted Target 12 and suggested that social protests against police brutality, such as this one in Providence that shut down Route 95 in 2014, are making officers leery of arresting some suspects. Bohm tells us he doesn't believe that would explain a 40% drop in arrests over 10 years, while most crime stats are also down.
I wouldn't say it plays a role enough to change the stats dramatically.
Target 12 also interviewed a criminology professor who told us police departments can make fewer arrests while also cutting crime, adding it's about better policing, not less policing. We have more on that part of this on WPRI.com. With the Target 12 investigators, Walt Buteau, Eyewitness News.